Alright people, how you all doing? I hope you're all well. Welcome back to the fish room. Today's video, I'm sure you'll be glad to know, is not a rant, not like yesterday. Is that asking for too much? Am I asking for too much, people? I've got over that. Just checking to see if the fish is still alive, and it still seems to be alive, so it's not dead yet. But in any case, if you want to know what that's about, you'll have to check yesterday's video. As for today's video, it's not a rant. Today I want to talk filtration. I use two different types of filtration. First of those being the sponge filters. Principally, it's what I'm using in most of my tanks. What's the word I'm looking for? Predominant. The first of those being the sponge filters, the large sponge filters, and they're predominantly used in most of my tanks and tubs, but I'm slowly transitioning to the box filters, so I'll be showing you perhaps that today or perhaps in another video. But in today's video I want to focus on the filtration of two different housing units, those being the two sets of tubs, and the filtration of, or the lack thereof, in order to address it. Each of these has 3 large sponge filters in it, but I feel like it's still insufficient in terms of filtration. The reason I say that is the ammonia is never quite ever at 0. So this is where we are most of the time. It's always that second one down. I've never been able to get it to stay at the yellow. So let me show you the tubs and then I'll tell you what I plan to do. Let's go. Alright guys, so these are my two tubs. You've got that one there and this one on the lower rack. Principally used for grow outs, for the most part, endlers, some guppies, even some mollies. But you know, like I said, I rarely ever get this to stay at yellow in terms of ammonia levels, which is quite frustrating. Now this one is still a lively tub, this one up top. But this one down here, the fish always seem bloody depressed. And it's the one that I've experienced the most losses in as well, so that's not great. The other thing I always find is you end up with loads of moam at the bottom. Now, you know, depending on which source you go by, some people actually talk about how moam can be beneficial. But given the fact that I've experienced problems, I'm essentially looking for a system right now that's going to do away with the moam and give me something other than that. So what I plan to do in order to address this is put together a DIY sump for each of the tubs. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to need a housing unit for the sump itself. I'll quickly talk you through what I've done and how I've done it. And also I'm going to need the pump, a pump to take the water from the tubs up to the sump, because in this case the sump's going to be above and not below. So let's go through the steps. As you can see here, Amazon have delivered the pump. We'll quickly open that up, have a quick look at that, and then I'll show you the build. So let's get to it. So here we go guys, let's open this up. Now I'm hoping the pump's in here, because if it isn't, this video is going to have an anticlimax. And it's not. 2 heaters. It's filter floss, that what the Americans call filter floss. We call it wool, I guess. There maybe. One more parcel. Is it in here? Is it likely to be in here? Could well be in here. Let's give this one a go. So let's have a look. Yes, there we go guys, that's the pump itself. Just turn that around, give you a quick look at that. It's only a cheap, what you might call a China pump or something like that, an import, although it came in one day, so it clearly didn't come from China. Delivered expressly by Amazon. So while I was on the old spending spree, I also purchased a couple of aquarium heaters. As you know, I've got a heated room. The aquarium is a heated room. But just on the odd occasion, I might want the temperature in the tank raised beyond the 24 degrees that it ordinarily sits at. So that's what the heaters are for, but we're not talking heaters today. Right, let's just open up one of these very quickly, because I don't want to bore you with contents and things like that. So as you can see, very small pump. Bloody hell, you're taking a piss. Is this going to be able to do what I need it to do? It's tiny. Look at that. Compare that to my finger. What the hell is this going to do? Apparently this goes up 2.5 feet. It pushes water up 2.5 feet. And that's 300 litres an hour. Really? Let's give it a go. Now, the reason why this appealed to me, something's not right. Anyway, the reason why this appealed to me, look how tiny this hose, and I ordered 4 of them. So if this don't work, this video is going to end very badly. It's going to turn into another rant. Flipping heck, look at that, it's tiny. How much water is going to go up that then? And that one's even smaller. Now the reason I've gone for this one is it's extremely low wattage, which is what you want really when you've got as many pumps and stuff going that I have. You know, you very quickly find your electric doubles, and that's never good. For the one paying the bill, it's never good. This better bloody work. Alright guys, so here we are. As for the filter itself, I've gone out to B&Q and I've purchased me one of these tubs here. Holds about 27 litres of water, and I've essentially divided it up into different sections here. As you can see, 5 different sections. So the idea here is maybe on the far left here, the water pours in on this side. It maybe in the first instance goes through some filter wall. It then goes into a second section. I could potentially have different types of media in these 4 sections, and then finally it outflows. Now, you know, I haven't decided on the types of media I'm going to have in each of these sections, but I'm thinking initially when I start it off, this is going to have a sponge filter in it, one that's already been seeded and has already got beneficial bacteria in it. The next section is going to have some lava rock, which I'm presently trying to procure. This section here, maybe some plants to remove nitrate and so forth. And you know, this one's optional. I can decide out there. It's really useful tubs. I bought 2 of these so I can make two sumps essentially. And then used this plastic card that I purchased from Amazon. Really light plastic. Cut this up to the right length. As you can see, drilled some holes in it as well so the water can pass through each section, and essentially siliconed it in place. Now, it's not a masterful silicone job, as you can see there. It's a sump. It doesn't need to be neat, so I won't bother trying to clean it up or anything like that. Maybe remove the hairs, but other than that, you know, it should be fine. It doesn't need to be a super clean job as far as the silicone goes. The other thing was the silicone's essentially just holding it in place. It's not there to prevent water going around the sides. I don't really care about that. We want water to travel through each section anyway. So it's there principally just to hold the different sections in place. In any case, we still need to drill a hole on one side, which will be this end here where the water flows back out. So let's get to doing that now. Alright guys, so I've introduced you to this tool before, giving you another quick look. And this is what we use to drill our hole. Now, it's a drill bit that will drill a hole across a range of sizes. So what I'm looking for is a hole big enough to accommodate this bulkhead here. Now, I can't emphasize enough guys that when you do this, you need to have a piece of wood there, otherwise you end up breaking the plastic. Now all the wood's doing is supporting the plastic for the initial few seconds. Now once you break through with the initial hole, as you can see there, you can then remove the water and just or continue to drill down. Right, that's fully exhausted the diameter of this drill bit. Let's have a look. What the hell did I do with the bulkhead? Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. It's on the floor. I'm stepping all over it. Whew. Oh. Right, guys, that seems to have done the job. Right, and then you just screw it in at this end. And voila, what you end up with is a bulkhead on your filter sump. So as you can see, guys, the sump, overhead sump is in place now. The bulkhead has been secured into position. It's also got a hose on it which ultimately runs back to the tub. Now all we need to do is set up a intake which will come to this end of the tub. Alright guys, so here we are. As you can see, sump's in position. I'm going to talk through this very quickly because I'm kind of bored of this myself. That's the only problem with me. I get bored with talking to the camera. Now this is just on there temporarily just to direct the water. So let's plug it in and see what happens. As you can see, bone dry. I have not tried it out yet. Let's see what happens. In. Here we go. Oh, we have water, we have water. Here we go, guys. So as you can see, the water started pouring in. Started going through the chambers. It hasn't reached, it's just come through now. There you go, guys. About 2 hours later, as if by magic, both sump systems or filtration systems are running. As you can see, that one's got an inflow of water, and likewise this one has as well. Healthy return flow coming back in. Both have got a seeded filter in them. As you can see there, that's the top one, and there's one here. You can see the debris already started to come up out of the tanks and into the tubs. Now if I did want to remove it, it's a lot easier for me to remove it using a turkey baste or something like that than it would be from the tank itself. But I'll leave it for a day or so. There might be some beneficial bacteria there. So what remains actually is just to fill the water levels up, because as you would expect, the water levels within the tubs has now dropped. Probably a bit of a clean-up operation as well. As you can see, my favourite zip ties, things just hanging off using the zip ties at present. I'll probably clean this up over the coming days. Guys, we're now on day 2 of this filter having been in operation. Let's go take a look. So here we are, guys. My apologies first off for the poor sound. I don't have the mic on, so this is literally the mic from the phone itself, so the quality perhaps not as clear as the recording I did yesterday. But in any case, day 2, both tubs have now been filled to the appropriate or required levels of water, and both filters fully operational. Now I had a bit of a hiccup last night. If we come around here, I'll show you what happened. When I came down in the morning, lo and behold, we had wet patches, and the reason for that was the tub at the top. It had to be the damn tub at the top, didn't it? Had a bit of a drip leak. So as you can see, no more drips. Looking at the tubs themselves, we can see the airflow breaking into the water just there. So the other change I made to the inside was when I put this together originally yesterday, I had that water pump sitting at the bottom of the tub. But then I considered the fact that actually if that was to leak out onto the floor, it would literally drain the entire contents of the tub onto the floor. Now that wouldn't be the end of the world, but essentially it would mean that the fish would have no more water, whereas if I had it slightly higher up, it would only kind of go halfway, or it would leave a third of the water in there, so the fish wouldn't necessarily suffer in the same way as having the entire contents of the tub removed. Same here with the bottom one again, raised it off the ground. Fish in this tub certainly seem happier, a lot more active. Like I say, the true benefits won't be recognised for weeks. I need to get the other media in place. So that's it guys, end of another project. Certainly let you know how much success I have with this, but I do anticipate it having a lot of benefit once the beneficial bacteria has bedded in fully.